Hey, Zach here from Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. Today we are having a look at the SIC Okeanos 12.6. The SIC Okeanos series is available in 3 different sizes. We're dialing in on the 12.6 today, but it's also available in an 11-foot board as well as a 14-foot version. The Okeanos, one of my favorite touring boards by far. It's absolutely beautifully constructed. The details on it, the graphics on it look phenomenal. This one here is one of our demo boards, so don't mind there's a couple of little scratches on this guy because it has been out on the water and tried out and loved by many. The Okeanos uses the Dragonfly construction, and we'll get into what that means in a minute. But let's have a look at kind of some of the features from the top to the tail and go over what I really like about the board. So starting out here at the bow, it has a really big flared construction, not a lot of rocker on the board, and again, that's that banana shape to it. And what we like about that is it keeps the waterline long. It paddles really smoothly, tracks really well, and carries a really nice hull speed. Fairly flat bottom. It does have a bit of a displacement hull up here at the top and then pans out to a flat bottom. We'll show you what the hull looks like in a minute. We'll focus up here on the deck. Right up here at the nose, this little plug right here. You can mount a GoPro or an action cam into that plug there with the right adapter for whatever camera you're using. Coming back in here into the foredeck, just beautiful. The inlaid graphics they use on these look really, really sharp. Probably one of the best boards that, you know, for visual aspect, and not that that's the super important thing for a board, but I think a visual board is really important, and SIC is really, in my opinion, dialed it in and looks great. Coming back here, we have this notch that comes in here, which, you know, helps deflect a lot of that water when we're in choppier conditions. Also keeps that bow riding nice and high because there's a lot of volume with that foam in the core in here. So it's just going to help create a much more stable and smooth ride. This little guy here, this is our Gore-Tex vent. So it's going to allow the board to regulate the pressure inside the board, so avoiding any damage or any water getting inside the board, because it's not going to let water in. It's only going to let air in and out throughout that vent. Bungee strap. So this is classed as a touring or fitness board, so it's going to be good for either of that. You could use it in, you know, maybe beginner racing series and stuff like that. It's not a true racing board, but certainly if you're kind of looking to get into the race scene, this would be a great board to start that on, because it is fast. You know, it is going to keep pace, but if you get into more, you know, higher end racing categories, you're probably going to look for something that's more of a specific race style board. Full deck matting from, you know, basically from the front of the bow all the way to the back. It's using that crocodile texture. It's a nice EVA foam, really comfortable on the feet, whether you're barefoot or if you're using a shoe. It's also going to give you a lot of traction, so you're not standing on any kind of slippery surface. You can really kind of grip on there and stick really well. I really like the handles that they use on these guys. So it's like a suitcase handle as opposed to kind of that cup, so you can really get a firm grip on this board to carry it, making it really easy and comfortable to carry. Sliding a little further back here, again, more bungee. Again, being a touring board, you know, you could load this guy up with some gear, go out for a weekend. You know, it's kind of a growing trend is using SUP boards for touring and camping out of, which is a really fun experience. Stable enough that you could fish off of it as well. You know, you could mount a seat like a cooler or something like that on here, and then and take a rod or two out with you and do some SUP fishing. Coming further back here, we've got our little leash plug here, so you can attach your ankle leash on here, or you could attach it around that handle as well. So you've got a couple of different spots where you could attach that SUP leash. Square stern at the back, really popular in these style of touring boards. Just creates a nice, efficient, well-tracking board. Beautiful design on the base here on the hull. Again, you can kind of see it's got a bit of this kind of V-cut here on the front, tapers into a fairly flat board all the way back. Beautiful graphics here on the base near the stern. It's got that wave pattern that looks really, really sharp. Obviously, this is subject to change, you know, year to year as they change the style. Overall, though, the board shape is going to stay very, very much the same. Neat feature here, which you don't find on a lot of touring boards. This is using an 8-inch weedless fin. Comes with a carbon fin out of the package, so really, really high-end fin. Then you also have 2 options here for a side bites or side fins, and there's a couple different ways you can set that up. You can remove this fin and just use the 2 shallow fins if you're paddling in a lot of shallow water. You could ultimately use all 3 to create some extra stability and better tracking. Or you can just use the one. The 2 side fins are available separately for purchase. They don't come with the board. But for the most part, this 8-inch fin, it's a weedless design, is going to do the job 90% of the time. super effectively. So the specs on this board here, this is 12.5 feet long, 29 inches wide, gives us a total volume of about 275 liters. This is gonna be good for your paddler up to about 240 pounds, maybe a little bit less than that for your most ideal weight, but for, you know, it's gonna be a good range for a lot of people. I really like a 12.6 board. Anything smaller than that in a touring series just is a little too small for myself. I really like the 14-foot version just because you get that extra water line, paddles beautifully, super smooth on the water. Obviously, it weighs a little bit more, a little more awkward to store and transport. So that's where these 12.6 really shine, is they're fairly lightweight, easy to transport, easy to store. The Dragonfly construction is a really unique, ultralight, heavy duty, very durable, very stiff construction, which is what we want to find in our epoxy style boards. It's using multiple sheets of fiberglass. It also has a veneered oak wood layer inside of there as well. And then obviously our gel coat or our paint on the outside. Going to be constructed differently on the top, as well as the bottom, as well as the rails. So the rails are going to be reinforced with some extra glass in there to help, you know, create that stiffness and give it some extra durability and protection. The hull is actually our lightest portion, but it still uses that oak veneer on there to create that stiffness and extra durability. And then our deck actually has, I believe it's like a 5-layer glass laminate on there, again, to really kind of get that stiffness so that you don't feel that flex inside of the board, creating a really smooth ride. This is the SIC Okeanos. This is the 12.6 version. For more information, you can check out the website, frontenacoutfitters.com. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. If you want to take one out for a test paddle, come visit us at the shop. Thanks a lot for watching.